Trump signing an eviction moratorium with the CDC.
Gotcha.
So, I mean,
Well, I'm kind of confused. I'm kind of confused on this topic. I know as a landlord myself and somebody that has been a tenant in the past, I would just hope to be associated with good people. You know, good, understanding, empathetic people that they know I'm trying to pay the rent, or I know that they're trying to pay me their rent, and we just work it out. If they're struggling, I'm going to work with them. You know, I want to be, I don't want to be a detriment to somebody's life. I don't want to have them choose between feeding their family or paying their rent. So like, you know, so the outline of this is pretty confusing.
It seems like the only people that really truly know what's going on are people who look at this stuff every day and the people that are working in the government right now.
Yeah.
So from what I understand, based on this email that you forwarded me from, it's a realtor something, the Virginia Realtors.
Yeah.
It looks like they were trying to do some sort of like eviction prevention kind of deal before, like right when like COVID started, they were trying to do something like that, but it doesn't look like it went into effect until about like September 1st is when it says that order was filed. So it was effective starting on the 4th, and it's not going to end until the 31st. Basically, you just can't evict someone that earns under $99,000 for annual income if they're just an individual, and then like you can't evict someone if they're filing jointly that's under $198,000. Is from what I have found so far, just based on this email.
Seems like that they would have to prove their hardship. Like if they've been notorious pre-pandemic of not paying their rent, and for some reason they just think because they can't get evicted that they stop paying their rent because, well, you can't evict me, so why should I pay? Like that is the formula for being evicted. Like if you think that you're going to take advantage of this because you hear news about not being able to be evicted, well, best believe if you go that route, then you will be evicted. I mean, in my opinion, like if you are not trying to communicate with your landlord, if you're not trying to do the right thing, like for my tenants, if they came to me with a hardship, I'd say, okay, what can you pay? When can you pay it? I'm not going to charge you a late fee. Like just pay me in increments that you can pay that still allows you to survive, but still puts some of your obligation to me in play, right? Like you're obligated to pay me. So if you don't pay what the lease says, I'm going to go and enforce that lease at some point. So just do the right thing. Communicate to the landlord in the best way that you can. You know, show them the burden you've come under, and just be completely honest and upfront with communication to your landlord. So that's my absolute best advice in this situation. So whatever this is, just do the right thing. Be a good person. On the landlord side, the same thing. Be a decent human being to understand what your tenants are going through. Okay? That's it. If you do that, you'll win. You will win if you do that.
Yeah, it just after reading this, it just seemed very like subjective.
Yeah.
In terms of like how they can evict you, because it's like if you read this part right here, like the 4th part, it's like best efforts to make timely partial payments that are close to the full payments as the individual circumstances may permit. So it's like you could say that like, oh, I don't have the money to pay for this, but like you have to like prove that, and like if it's not sufficient to the landlord, they could say no, that's not good. You know, it just seemed very subjective, and it seemed like a real like sticky situation for them.
There's a lot of managers that if you came to them with the hardship that you have and say, hey, you know, I can no longer afford to live here, can you let me go and find something more affordable? They would actually be open to that, because then they know that they can probably release that property for more money to somebody that can't afford it. Because especially here in the New River Valley, people are still working. A lot of people are still working here. So I think that the communication is the ultimate key. Like, do not dodge Do not dodge your landlord. Do not, because you will get evicted if you do that.
Yeah. But this is just for like residential. This isn't for retail. Retail is a little bit different story.
Yeah.
So this article that I have pulled up here, it's talking about what a retail landlord is using in the D.C. area or Washington D.C. area.
Okay.
So what they're doing is they're allowing payments of the minimum base rate at 50% if the city prohibits the tenant from operating their business again due to the C word. Can't say it,
Yeah.
might hurt the algorithm. But so 50%, and then the tenant has to repay that difference in 6 equal monthly installments starting on the first day after reopening.
So if they're out of business due to this, they still have to pay 50% of the rent?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So that's like the retail space. That's what one person's doing. That was just like their like really quick solution to when this all started happening.
Yeah.
So that's what they were doing. But then there's a solution 2 proposed by, probably going to butcher their name, Felipe Lanier. He's the principal at East Bank, B-A-N-C.
Yeah.
He told the Wall Street Journal that he's open to structured leases on a percentage of the retailer's sales to help tenants if they see their sales decline.
Man.
That sounds like a better solution if you're open. If you're not open, I don't know how that would work.
I honestly feel like this is just another indicator on why owning your space is so important. Owning your space. If you are in direct line to the bank and the bank knows you're going through hardship, they're more likely to forgive you than the landlord. The landlord being able to charge you 50% when you can get forbearance from the bank. I mean, when you get forbearance from the bank, you owe no money for those hardship months. So that is a huge impact. That just goes to show you how important actually owning your space is.
Yeah.
So unbelievable.
Some landlords are being careful not to specify pandemic in their leases, because whenever someone goes to the bank for like a loan for it, it says that having such language could hurt the owner's abilities to get financing for that property. So it's all they're being very like careful with their wording of this.
Definitely.
So that's what the retail space is doing.
I wonder, I'm mainly a residential real estate agent, and I'm wondering, I do some commercial and I do some multifamily and things. I'm really wondering what the commercial sales space is looking like right now. Like, we talked about Alligator Alley the other day, the last show, and how we'd like to get that. But it's out there at a cut rate, in my opinion, and nobody's buying because of, who's going to take on a retail space in the middle of this, right?
Yeah.
The only person that would is a guy like me.
Yeah, especially when you're starting to see more people work from home. Right. It just seems like a retail space is starting to become like less.
Not priority.
Yeah,
not
a big priority.
Yeah.
So I think what I was actually like discussing this with someone yesterday. I'm thinking that they're going to probably switch the way that they spend their money, because like instead of paying for like rent and stuff, they're probably just going to like spend money on their employees to like be able to work from home. So like renovate home offices maybe. I don't know. I guess it depends on the company you work for and how much they're spending on a physical building.
Right.
But yeah.
Cool. All right. So that's pretty interesting. I would say let's do some research on how the numbers have been affected on the commercial real estate sales. If we can find any stats on that, I would be interested in knowing those statistics, because that actually, that's actually going to help a buyer know the negotiating power that they have, right? The commercial buyer, like for me to go and negotiate with Alligator Alley now, I know that I have more power. I've got more of a moment than the seller does. I do want to kind of riff off this a little bit. We hear the terms seller's market and buyer's market, and it's really more like a seller's moment and a buyer's moment. So, there's still homes, there's still properties out there that have been listed for a long time that don't sell. So like these terms that you get familiarized with, they're not 100% accurate. In any market, the right product will sell in any market. So you just have to know how to capture the moment and not give your moment away to the buyer. You know, so remember that there's no real such thing as a seller's market or buyer's market. There's only a seller's moment and a buyer's moment. That's something that you guys needed to hear.
Yeah, I just looked up this article really quick to see what it was saying. The pandemic weakens commercial real estate prices in the second quarter. This article came out on July 30th of this year. But
Okay.
I can't get the full article unless I sign up for their whatever
Sure.
thing. So
Sure.
basically, this is just from what I can see from this
Yeah.
sub header. It's like trends differ across property
Okay,
types.
I actually pay them to help me market my commercial listings.
Oh, okay.
So we probably even have access to that as a consumer of the marketing product. We just need to dive a little deeper into that.
Yeah.
Because I would like to know, like, year over year commercial sales, if they're way down. That'd be very interesting.
It looks like they're way down because just looking at these articles right here is like Chicago commercial property sales plummet, commercial real estate struggling during that weird pandemic.
Yeah.
Distresses U.S. properties frozen. I mean, there's a lot. Yeah, definitely hurting them. I don't know what the hard numbers are, but it's definitely hurting them.
Yeah. Interesting.